All right, what's up, y'all? Mid-range game back again. We got two fellas going through some things with Kyrie and Scottie Pippen. But before we get into it, hit the like button, subscribe, get notifications. Check us out on IG or Twitter at midrange_game. Now let's get it. All right, what's up, YouTube? Mid-range game back again. My name is Brent. Of course, we got my boy in HD.
HD Dean. I like
HDD.
it. Give my own
Standard
nickname.
definition
Oh no,
Brent.
I just swaggy peed myself. I can't do that. I take it back. I take it back.
We're coming back because we have a couple fellas going through some things. If you listen to our podcast, every now and then we have a segment called Going Through Some Things, and we definitely had to put it out on this one. We'll start with number one, numero uno,
Okay.
Kyrie Irving, going through some things.
He definitely is. Kyrie Irving on Kevin Durant's podcast network had this to say with 10 seconds left. Who's shooting? This was his reply. Depends on who's hot. I don't see it as anything other than that. 1-3 pick and roll, or if it's an ISO for either one of us, or if it's just something great for our team. One thing I've always been comfortable with is I felt like I was the best option on every team I've played for down the stretch. This is the first time in my career where I can be like, that mother can shoot too. What do you think, Brett? Do you think everybody's going crazy, or is he really taking shots at LeBron?
Well, here's the thing. Kyrie has done this before. He doesn't really think when he says things where people are going to contrast compare his statements. It's very similar to when he was talking about the pieces that the Nets need to win, and he started naming a few players and then left out the rest of them. And then he goes, it's not about leaving out the other ones. I'm not disrespecting, blah, blah. You guys are reading into things. And he's doing the same thing right here. He's saying, I feel like I'm the best option, yada, yada, yada. Now I'm playing with a guy that I think he can shoot too. One, Kevin Durant's right in front of him. He's talking to him on his podcast. He's hyping him up. But he's trying to make it look like now on his reply that he didn't really mean that against LeBron, and everybody else is tripping. I think he is throwing shade at LeBron, honestly. He does that unconsciously. I think it's subconscious, not unconscious, a subconscious thing that he did, because he's saying that he believes he should be the number one option, which every guy who thinks he's the greatest player, all are going to think I'm the number one option. They're all going to think that, but they don't always come up and say it. Kevin Durant is going to say on Golden State, I believe I should have been the number one option. But he's not going to throw shade at Steph Curry and Klay Thompson because he knows that those guys are also number one options.
Yeah,
but Kyrie can't help himself.
Yeah, Kevin Durant would use his burner account to do that. So. But no, Twitter went crazy. Like, everybody thought he was taking a shot at LeBron. I mean, could it have been a subtle dig? Maybe. But I mean, the facts are that, yes, he is a clutch shooter. But if you look at the true numbers, like LeBron is more of a clutch shooter. Kyrie knows exactly what he's doing. He went on a podcast, and like you and I were talking off camera about how the successful shows on TV, like the Stephen A's, the Skip Baylesses, they just say stuff out of pocket, right? Like they say stuff so far one direction that it makes people angry. So they get people watching their show just so they can be, keyboard heroes replying back about how stupid that individual is. We like to keep it a little more down to earth here on Mid-Range Game. So if you like, real talk, this is probably a better show for you. But yeah, he knew what he was doing. It took me a minute to actually listen to the whole clip and then listen to his response, which we'll do right now.
Why must it always be brother against brother? Why? If I'm addressing anyone, I'll say their name. Come on, y'all. Don't listen to the false narratives. Let people live their lives. It's just a game. Talk about the art, talk about the sport. You talk openly, you talk freely. But because we live in a click-based society, it becomes something bigger. You don't have to defend it. That's just what media is. It's entertainment. I'm not going to let it put me against anybody anymore at any point, because that's not what it's about. We talk freely, openly, and that's our society. Say how you feel. Don't have to put me against anyone else. It's never been about that. It's about the love. Peace.
So in his response, he basically shows that like you could kind of see when he's talking to the camera, he knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
But then he's coming back to be like, no. Come on, you guys are making more of a big deal than it really needs to be. He's playing the game. He's playing the game.
Right. But in his response, you notice he didn't say, I wasn't throwing shade at LeBron.
Right.
His responses are literally, you guys are believing this off narrative. Why you got to pit brother against brother? Like, no one pit you guys against each other. But you do hate on LeBron. Let's be real.
Yeah, it's pretty obvious that the 10-year Cavs, championship reunion, don't think Kyrie's going to be there. But then before we get off of Kyrie, he wasn't done there. Then he said that basically they won't have a head coach, even though Steve Nash, it's going to be I'm paraphrasing obviously, but in this case, he basically said it could be me one night, could be KD one night, Steve Nash one night. I'm like, pretty sure Steve Nash is the coach. This might be a dumpster fire before it even gets started.
Is Steve Nash lacing him up like old school, be a little player coach? Is that what's going to happen? Are we all just going to meet up and be like, who got a good idea? Is that what do you guys think we should run? That's not going to happen. Kyrie.
Boy, the Nets are going to be entertaining next year. Kevin Durant better come back at like 85, 90%, or this could be a disaster.
Yeah, I'm sure Steve Nash is going to be like, let it be clear on the first meeting, I'm the coach.
Yeah, he probably won't, but he's thinking that, right? He's definitely thinking that.
Now, I said two guys, right? Kyrie wasn't the only person going through some things. We got my boy, Scottie Pippen. Now, I grew up a Bulls fan. I love the Bulls. Michael Jordan was my guy. Scottie Pippen was my guy. Had pictures of them on my wall. But at the moment, Scottie's going through some things. Scottie was asked about the play in the bubble, and he said, well, I'm going to be honest. It's not NBA basketball. It's not the hard grind. It's not the travel. It's not the fans. It's not the distractions. Really, to me, it's pickup basketball. That's what Scottie said.
I'll lead on this one. I don't agree with him at all. I think you're right. This is like the old guy that said he had to walk, both ways uphill.
Right.
I think with first of all, the social stuff that's going on, that adds pressure on these guys to, use their platform. Also, yes, there's no home or away and they're staying in a hotel, which I'm sure is nice, but you don't sleep. I don't care, how long you're there. You're not sleeping as good in these hotels as you do in your own bed. So for those home games, these guys are used to being around their family, around their circle, right? They have their people around them, their comfort zone. And in the bubble, there is no comfort zone. Yes, you might be in a nice hotel, but your wife might be there. A lot of these guys' wives are not there. Their kids aren't there. The people they trust are not there. So they're stuck in a hotel room.
I see where he's coming from. I know they always say the NBA season can be grueling. 82 games, back and forth on the road, back to back to back sometimes. You get into certain cities and, different hotels have different accommodations. Sometimes you got to get up early in the morning to make a flight or, different things break down. More things can go wrong. You got some guys that went out and partied too hard and because they were playing in Miami and they went to the clubs. You got Lou Williams getting lemon pepper wings whenever he feels like it to how long in the morning he wants to.
Them thighs, baby.
You got everything. Thighs. So I see where he's coming from, where he's saying you guys just don't understand how hard that grind is. It's not as easy. It reminds me of like when the pro golfers had a guy that had some disabilities that said I want to be able to ride a golf cart, and the other players were like, walking is part of the grind. You got to walk this course, and that's part of the grind. I know you're good, but you got to be able to walk too. That's part of the issue, and I think that's kind of what he's saying. Now, comparing it to pickup basketball, because just like you said, I think the bubble brings its own challenges.
Okay, Brent, before we get out of here, we have another game tonight. We got game 2. Do. What do you think? Do they even have a chance with the injuries?
The injuries is two key people. Remember our key things. I said Gordon Dragic, the three-head monster with
Mhm.
Robinson, Hero, and Dragic can put balls in the bucket. Well, he's doubtful for tonight. Bam Adebayo is their main defense guy down there, and he's a factor for them. He's doubtful for tonight. If those guys, either one of them, if
Yeah.
both of them are out, they lost. If either one of them are out, I believe they can't win that game. I did say Lakers in 5, but that's if everybody's healthy.
Yeah. I think that my pick in 6 is probably looking a little not as good now. I think in 5 would probably be more accurate. Maybe even 4. I hope not,
Yeah,
but
maybe 4.
possibly. I think Dragic is huge. I think Bam is huge. But if we saw anything, the Heat came out, they're playing good, but then it's like the Lakers hit a switch. And even, yes, Dragic got injured, but Bam, he couldn't handle AD. Nobody could. Then they put
Nobody
Crowder
can
on
handle
him.
it.
Crowder was trying to mean mug LeBron and foul him hard and stuff. You can't, they just looked outmatched. I mean,
Yeah.
it was just really bad. So I hope tonight's game is a little better, but I have to be honest. I think LeBron's going to have his guys locked in and ready to go, cut out the antics until game 4, a game 4 win when they're actually about to win. So,
Yeah.
all right, Brent, we're going to get out of here on that. Kyrie, Scottie Pippen, going through some things. We broke it down for you guys. What do you have for us for our quote of the day? What's our outro?
Outro, we'll go old school here and just tell you to keep the change, you filthy animal.
Oh my God. Okay. I actually know what that's from. I'm
I'm sure you do.
so white.
I'm
I appreciate it. All right, guys. If you enjoyed the video, hit the like button, hit subscribe. It really helps us out. That's how this community can grow. Leave a comment. We would love to interact with you guys. So we're all about the people, man. We're, like we said in the beginning, we're the bootleg version of Jalen and Jacoby. We got to give the people what they want. Until next time, guys, take it easy.
Out.